years turn into
Recording in
unpredictable
progress.
ones. Oh, thank you for recording. Yes. so, um, so these are two different sets of videos, and then the Fairfax Area Agency on Aging produced these and worked with what are they? The Clowder group. I might be saying it wrong, but they helped produce it, and so this is for everybody to use and share. Um, we also actually, I think it goes next into the guide presentation, Cameron and Kim. Uh, did you have a speaker, someone from the committee who wanted to introduce the speakers? Or did you want me to read the bio?
We'll let you go ahead.
Okay. Is it Beatty? Tara Beatty? Am I saying that correctly? Okay.
I think so.
Okay, so we're going to do guide. It's going to be a presentation by Tara Beatty and Rob Hubbard. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Tara Beatty holds a master's degree in gerontology and is a licensed assisted living facility administrator with extensive experience working with individuals living with dementia and alongside older adults. She is a positive approach to care trainer and coach, a certified dementia engagement specialist, certified dementia practitioner, dementia friends trainer, and a certified dementia connection specialist trainer and ambassador. She currently serves as a guide navigator with At Home Harmony, where she supports dementia caregivers by helping them understand dementia and learn practical ways to help better care for their loved ones. Tara and Rob will discuss the GUIDE program today, which stands for Guiding and Improving the Dementia Experience. They will explore why a program like GUIDE is so essential for the caregivers who are often overwhelmed, exhausted, and doing their best to navigate a journey that can feel isolating and confusing. They share how the GUIDE program supports caregivers in real and practical ways, and how it helps families feel more confident and less alone while caring for someone with dementia. A couple case studies will also be shared to bring the program to life and show a guide in action. Tara will also walk through the qualifications to join the GUIDE program, what participants can expect, and how the alignment process works. And finally, Rob will explain how the At Home Harmony as a medical practice was uniquely positioned to be a guide provider. And so I will let them take it away. And then I believe at the end, will we open it up for announcements, Cameron and Kim? So if you stick around to the end, that's the time to share what your group is doing. I will be hopping a little early because I'm going to do a Dementia Friends session myself. I'm presenting today, but I will be here for a little bit. And we will let Tara and Rob take it away. And if you all are going to share, I think you should be able to. Just let us know if you need help with that.
So can y'all see the share? Let me get so I can see.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So my name is Tara, and actually we kind of cheated on y'all. We are changing it from Rob to Jen is going to be my helper today. So we're going to talk about GUIDE, of course. I am going to let Jen start just because she's going to go over the practice. GUIDE has to be run by a medical practice, and ours is a little bit unique. So I wanted to let her tell you more about that to begin with. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Tara. My name is Jennifer Wagenhofer. I am the Senior Vice President here at Home Harmony. First and foremost, we are an in-home primary care provider. So we meet seniors with chronic conditions in the Richmond area, Lynchburg area, truly where they need to be seen, and that's their home. So we send APPs and MDs out to the home to meet them there, to work with them and treat their chronic conditions. We can see them as often as we need. For those that are in our greater Richmond service area, we have a long-term care pharmacy that can pack medications and have them delivered to the home. This helps with medication adherence, and it helps with med management to take the caregiver stress off families to do medication weekly planners. We have an in-home personal care agency that services both the Richmond area and Tri-Cities area. And they work closely with our providers to make sure that we're providing not only a good personal care service, but clear, concise communications with their providers as well. And last but not least, the reason that we're here today is we are one of less than 100 providers nationwide that are eligible to provide services through the GUIDE program. Tara will speak directly to what this program entails, but we are lucky enough for the first time ever that CMS is recognizing that caregiver burden is real. This is a population that is growing at a rapid rate across the nation. And we need to provide support not just to the patient, but to those taking care of them. So, Tara, if you are ready, I will pass to you. This is her wheelhouse. This is her life. She lives and breathes by it. If you ever get a chance to meet her in person, you'll understand that. So we are lucky to have her and her expertise here at Home Harmony.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I apologize. I evidently must have put the wrong slideshow in because Jen had wonderful pictures to go with hers and it's not coming up. So that was my fault. So I apologize, but we're just going to go with the flow. So we're going to start off with why guide. Anybody that has had to care for a loved one with dementia or knows someone caring with a loved one with dementia knows that it is a maze to get the help that they need. It's hard to get the caregiver in touch with the support services it needs. It's hard to get the medication straight, find out the social services, find out what other agencies can help. And then you throw in trying to get a neurology appointment, which can take 9 months in some cases, as well as dealing with the primary care physician who may not know as much as we want them to know about dementia. So it really is a maze of dementia care. Dementia actually affects a tremendous number of people as well, and that number's just going up. Here, oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
So at this point, it affects 6.7 million in 2023, and it's going to go up to 14 million by 2060. So that is one of the main impetuses, is just realizing how many people are going to be affected by dementia. And then you have the caregivers. So for every person that's affected by dementia, there's usually a primary caregiver, but then there's also a family that's struggling with this. The strain for the caregiver leads to higher ER utilization. It is physically, emotionally, relationally, financially. It affects every aspect of the caregiver's life. So you can see it's quite costly for the caregiver in regards to everything, you know, their quality of life. The medical system just wasn't set up for this type of care. And I love this slide because a lot of the caregivers are actually children who are caregiving for their loved one. So most of the time they're still working. We've heard of the sandwich generation. We know that there's, you know, they're caring for their young children, maybe their grandchildren or their own adult children, as well as caring for their parents. But in the midst of that, most of us have to work. So it affects their work as well. When you're a caregiver, it showed the purple is the caregivers. So 57% went in early, went in late, left early, or took off. They had to take leave of absences. They had to go from full-time to part-time. Some of them had to retire early, you know, double the amount, turn down a promotion. And some of them just had to give up work entirely. And I will tell you, I talked to many, many families that are going through this and the struggle with just the pressure coming from every side. Another aspect is we do not realize how much time these caregivers are actually putting into providing the care that their loved one needs. On an average, a person with dementia has 4 different doctors, and 1 in 3 of the caregivers said that they spend at least some time daily talking to either their doctors or worrying about medication or the insurance, picking up medication. So they're doing something medical for their loved one on a daily basis. And most of us know how hectic our lives are to begin with. Imagine throwing in something else that you have to do every day. So GUIDE was modeled to provide peace, calm, and to help this chaotic situation that these caregivers are going through. They wanted to be a solution to support the families. We want to help them from the time they're diagnosed to the time that they are passing on. And we do. We have people from fast score 4 all the way to fast score 7. So what is GUIDE overall? As she said, GUIDE is an acronym for Guiding an Improved Dementia Experience. It is free to people that have traditional Medicare. We are going to help with care plans. We are going to help with their home safety assessments. We provide training and support. We talk to them monthly. I will say that we actually get to the point where we have a relationship with some of these caregivers. I have one that the first thing she says when I say hi, she goes, "Oh, it's my girl, Tara." So it is nice to have that relationship with them. The program is managed through Medicare Part A and B. We started on July 1st, 2024. And since then, our program has aligned over 600 people. So we've done a really good job of helping a lot of families. The program benefits from the result of a lot of organizations doing research. So it looked into medical aspects, neurological aspects, psychological, and then the Alzheimer's Association helped a lot in the planning. So a little bit about our current landscape. We are, of course, in Virginia. We are one of the 11 practices that are approved from GUIDE in Virginia. Most of the ones are larger health systems. So we are a little bit unique. We are a medical practice, so we're a lot smaller than some of the larger ones. And one of our proudful things that we're very happy about is that we were one of the first medical practices to actually enroll a GUIDE patient overall. And I said that the Alzheimer's Association helped a lot with figuring out how the GUIDE program should be run and what should be included. This is a survey that they did, and I think it was wonderful because it actually showed what caregivers need and what support they actually needed. And when I go through what GUIDE does, you can see that we help in almost all of these areas. So, 68% said that they need referrals to support services and resources. I can't tell you how many families just don't know where to go, who to talk to. So we'll refer people. A lot of them just needed training. I spend a large portion of my day training people in dementia, helping them understand the brain changes, helping them understand why people with dementia do a certain thing. Of course, helping with behavioral symptoms is definitely something that a lot of the caregivers needed. They needed help understanding the healthcare system, monitoring medications, coordinating care. You can go through the list, but like I said, when we're going through what GUIDE does, you will see that we do most of these things. The purpose of GUIDE is to support people living with dementia and their unpaid caregivers. The goal overall is to improve the quality of life for the people with dementia, to reduce the strain of their unpaid caregivers, and to enable them to remain in their home or community that they're currently at. And we're going to go more over the approach in a little bit, so I'm going to skim over that for this time. I love this slide because it is a wonderful example of what we do. We will help write a care plan. The care plan is very important for these families because a lot of times they assume somebody else is doing it, or one person's doing everything and somebody else doesn't really know what they should be doing. So the care plan kind of helps them know what needs to be done. It gives them helpful tips, but it also lets them know how the duties should be split up in many cases. We do training for them. Like I said, we do a large amount of conversations every month, just explaining to the loved ones what's happening, what to expect during this stage, how to prepare for the next stage. Every month we do forums, we have lunch and learns, we have an educational series, and we also actually do a book club. So every month we read a different book on the topic and we have discussions about that. We have ongoing supports, we monitor them monthly, and then we do also have a respite voucher if they qualify for that. And we're going to go over that in a minute. So before we go into the next step, I kind of want to give you one of those case studies, and I want to share so that you can see. I don't know if y'all are like me, but I like to see how it actually helped somebody. So I had this couple. The gentleman had dementia. He was early onset, so he was still a lot younger. So at the beginning of the calls, I was talking a lot to the wife about what she was missing, what she was grieving, because she thought, when he retired, that they were going to be able to travel and they were going to have this wonderful time. So a lot at the beginning was talking about, how to adjust to this new norm. We went over a lot of what the brain changes are doing. We discussed a lot of how she can better get support systems. Unfortunately, his was a very quick transition. So it got to the point where we were spending a lot of time talking about behaviors. We were talking a lot about how to communicate to prevent these behaviors. We were talking a lot about how to keep herself safe. And then one day I get a phone call and she is in tears on the phone. He had actually thrown a chair at her. She was standing in front of the stove. It actually broke the glass of the stove. So you could tell he was throwing it pretty hard. She was scared to death. She did not know what to do. At this point, when I had the phone call, she had already called the police. They had already kind of gotten it, down to a normal level of agitation at that point. But of course, she was very fearful, as anybody would be in this situation. So I remember this phone call. It was 9 o'clock at night. We were still talking. But at this point, it changed from, what are the support services and how to deal with it to, I am ready. I need to make a move for him. I cannot live like this anymore. So at this point, we started talking to Benchmark Senior Solutions, which is the area group that can help us find placement. Made that phone call that night. The next morning by 10 o'clock, she had already talked to Benchmark. They had already gotten someone that could come in, show her some facilities. Within a week, he was in a facility. At that point, me, her, and Benchmark were all talking frequently to make sure that it was going to be the best transition as possible. The story does have a wonderful ending. This caregiver actually had been a social worker by trade, so she was able to help a lot of the people that are at his new facility. She also stays very active on our Facebook page that we have, and she is very supportive to our caregivers. She has told me many times that she couldn't have done this without us, and how nice it is now to be in the situation where she's actually getting to help people again. Because as a social worker, her love language was to help people. But you can see how in this situation, there were so many things that it could have gone differently. And just the ability to have that extra support and that person that she can call. And we talk frequently still. Even though he's in a facility, we talk about advocating and how to pay attention to his care plan and what to look for. So we didn't stop helping her when he moved into the assisted living. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a picture. We're going to go to who qualifies for guide. And with the qualifications, of course, the first one is the person has to have dementia. And this needs to be confirmed by a clinician. The next one is that they have to be enrolled in Medicare Parts A and B. So they cannot be in an Advantage plan. It has to be traditional Medicare. They cannot be in hospice. They cannot be in PACE. They cannot be in a skilled nursing facility. And then the last one is they have to be in the zip code. They have to live in the zip code that their guide participant or guide group has been approved to work in. Our guide program, some of the things that our specific one does is, like I said, we have those lunch and learns, we have the education. We also have a 24/7 helpline, which is required. So at 24 hours a day, they can call and reach somebody that can help them. We have community supports. We help them know where to go. I'm actually often referring people to the area agencies on aging and other support systems like that. We have ongoing monitoring and support, so we will keep track of how they're doing, give them new techniques as the disease progresses. We do care coordination. Many times I'm helping to call or set up the psychological help or to get them in touch with the neurologist. We have enhanced communication with families. This is actually one of my favorite things to do. I have several families that once a month, the entire family gets on a virtual call and we go through what's changing, what they need to be looking for. And then the neat thing to see is how the families have that aha moment of, oh my gosh, I really need to help Sister Susie because she is doing so much. So it's been very beneficial for those families that have those family meetings. We have extra resources such as a caregiver notebook. We also give all of our caregivers courtesy cards, which if y'all know anybody with dementia, those courtesy cards can be a lifesaver. So those are the cards that if they go into a restaurant and it's taking their loved one longer to order and somebody behind them or the person taking the order is taking forever, you just slip them this card and they know that they need a little extra patience. We have communication boards and we also have a Facebook page. Our Facebook page has about a third of our participants in it, so it's a great way to get information to them on a daily basis. Promised I would talk about the respite voucher. This is one of the things that I hate to admit it, but is usually one of the original draws to the program. I think once they're in the program, they realize that the education helps too, but a lot of times they're just exhausted and they need some help. So anybody that has a FAST score of 5, 6, or 7 gets a respite voucher. The voucher can be used for 25 days of daycare support, or it can be used for 76 hours of in-home care. That does have to be in 4-hour increments. And this picture is just a little bit to show you how our process works. So basically, we usually get that phone call or someone sends us an email, wants to know more about it. We talk to them, share a little bit about the programs, make sure that they do have traditional Medicare. That seems to be one thing that a lot of people are confused if they have an Advantage or traditional Medicare. Then we have the intake, so we're getting more information on them. And then our clinical team will assess them and enroll them. So there are a multitude of tests that they do or screenings. We have to do the Prepare, we have to do the Zaret, we have to do, I think it's about 7 different tests or assessments. Once that's all done, we send it into Medicare. They do the approval. CMS will do the approval. And then after that, that's where I step in. The other care navigator steps in, and we are doing the ongoing support. So like I said, once a month, we have to talk to them. We're in charge of doing the Facebook, the support groups, the lunch and learns, anything like that we do. And then we're constantly assessing them and updating how everything's going with their care. I have this slide in just to show you some of the benefits, because of course we know the patient is going to benefit from this. They're going to have better care navigation. They're going to have that dementia care plan that they can stick to, that home safety assessment, which is really valuable. I didn't talk about that too much, but it's really important that you go in and look at the home from a dementia standpoint. Most people, when they go in for a home safety assessment, they're thinking, is there a cord that they're going to trip over? But we also look at, what is the color of the bathroom? Does the toilet seat contrast with the floor? We know that dementia affects the contrast. So if they cannot tell the difference between the seat and the floor, there's a high likelihood that they're not going to get their tush on the proper part of the seat and they might slip because they didn't get all the way on. Or if they don't know where the step up is to the shower because everything's a lovely monochromatic white bathroom and they can't see that step up, we'll encourage them to put neon green tape on the step up so their loved one can see it. But that home safety assessment is very important. For the caregiver, they have caregiver forums at 24/7. We've already talked about that. It really does enhance communication. It gives them a peace of mind. And the thing that I haven't focused on too much is how does it help the community? So if someone is living in a community, for example, they live in an assisted living community. We all know that you have those families that are kind of high need. So for those, it is a perfect addition to have the guide program because when that family is asking questions about dementia, instead of the social worker, the activity director, or nurse having to spend a long time explaining dementia, they can simply call us. When they call us, it's not taking care away from the other residents. Whereas if it's, the social worker or the activity director, they're answering the family's questions and not being able to care for the residents. So it has been very helpful in the facilities that we've worked with as well. And this is where I had the slide screens out of order, but this is what Jen was talking about, that we are a home-based practice. So she already went over that, so I'm going to slide through that. And if you have any questions, there is my information. And if you know somebody that you want to refer to the guide program, we love referrals. If you can just send us their information via email. And if Jen, if you're still on there, I cannot remember, it's referrals.
Correct. Referrals at homeharmony.com. I am trying to answer everyone's questions in the chat right now. So I think I got most, but some of them, most of them is, how do we know that the service is provided in my area? The best thing you could do is just reach out with a zip code to referrals at homeharmony.com, and we can screen quickly. If they're unsure what insurance they have, we really just need name, date of birth, address, and their Medicare number. And we can screen relatively quickly from our clinical intake team to see if they're even eligible for the guide program for insurance wise. They do need a diagnosis of dementia or at least suspected dementia. We can assist with helping them get diagnosed. As many of you know, here in Virginia, it can be up to a 9-month wait to get in with their neurologist. So we do work with partners to try and get them screened. But most people do have the diagnosis on their chart if they're reaching out for this. Another question is veterans, if they receive care through the VA, are they eligible? Absolutely. So this also works for individuals that are dual as well, that are on Medicaid. This is an additive service, not to be replaced by any services that they're already getting. Again, they just need to meet those qualifications from CMS as Medicare Part A and B eligible, and not living in a skilled place, not in a hospice benefit, and not on a PACE plan. What other questions did I see here? The courtesy cards for your caregivers, if you guys want to reach out directly to Tara for that, she can definitely touch base with you about the courtesy cards. Can they use any caregiver? So this is where we have a little bit of regulations with CMS. So we have to partner with different personal care agencies. So we have one ourselves, but we also partner with 9 others in the in Virginia right now, as well as adult day centers, because that's a service that can be offered. So we partner with some of the largest: Care Advantage, AmeriCare Plus, Executive Care, Care with Love. I'm trying to think of some of the others off the top of my head. In the Richmond area, we partner with Circle Center and Lucy Core Adult Day Centers. And we're always looking to expand our partnerships as well. So we always try, if they're coming with a caregiver from an agency, we always try and see if we can partner with them and if that agency can accept the rates that CMS is willing to pay. We want them to keep their caregiver that they're comfortable with. That is part of the idea of the guide program. Partner with Circle Center in that if our individuals want to use an adult day center, they take payment from CMS. They're one of our partner organizations. So CMS requires us to have each of the agencies that we're partnered with go through an integrity screen. They want to make sure they're an up and up company. They want to make sure that they haven't had any, complaints against them or dings from Medicare or Medicaid. So we try and work with a lot of those different agencies. So we actually, I think we have a total of, I want to say close to 11 clients that use Circle Center as their adult day center. So with the respite voucher, they can either get up to 76 hours approved of in-home care with a one-to-one personal caregiver, or they can get up to 25 days of adult day center usage. And that can be used whether it's 3 times a week or 5 days a week. We do have one partner that we can do up to 8 days of 24/7 respite. If say someone's going on vacation and they don't want to leave their loved one at home, they want to have them placed in overnight respite, we have one company that will do up to 8 days for that. What about dual eligible Medicare and Medicaid individuals with dementia living in a group home or in with the development? Can they qualify? Absolutely. Again, as long as they are not in a PACE program, a hospice program, and have Medicare's Part A and B. Did I get everyone's questions? I don't know if Tara also mentioned, because it is a Medicare fee for service, that 20% copay is waived.
I do see one question. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
At the top, they said, what in the world do you do if your loved one is in their 50s and that it doesn't qualify for Medicare?
So unfortunately, CMS does not have a program yet for individual. This is strictly for anyone that's eligible for Medicare. We ourselves are working on being able to provide supportive services for individuals outside the Medicare scope. We're still developing that program. I'm hoping that it can go live by March or April this year. It's something that we're really striving for, that we can utilize, insurance for, to allow them access. We're working on trying to find funding from different grants also to support the vouchers for personal care. That's one of the hardest things. If you really look at it, 76 hours is not much. That's 19 4-hour visits. That's not a lot, but it's something. It's somewhere for someone to start. So we are working on trying with At Home Harmony to develop a program for that, because we understand it's a need. We've had to tell many people that they weren't eligible due to just their insurance. And that's one of the hardest things that we have to do. Okay. So when you first 72 hours of respite. So originally it was 80 in program year 1, but then the cap changed and it is 76 now. So I'm not sure where you heard the 72 from, but because our agency is listed in Richmond, we go by that geographic assessment factor. So we are able to give out 76 hours. Yes, if the VA is paying for 3 days a week of Circle Center already, would he be eligible for additive services through Medicare as well? Yes. Yes, so you can use this in conjunction. And again, it's additive. It's not to replace anything. This could be utilized, and all you would have to do if they're at Circle Center is talk to Jay. And once they're a part of our program, Jay would reach out to us and we would work out how that invoicing would work.
Several people that are using 2 types of help, and it actually comes in handy. One thing I did not think about that I would love to share, just how people use that respite voucher. Like she said, it's 19 visits, 4 hours, but it has to be in 4-hour increments, which doesn't mean, and we have had some families that have said, I have not had a vacation. I have not seen the beach for years, and I just want to go away for the weekend to go to the beach. You can use those 48 hours all together and go to the beach and still have some extra hours left over. But it is totally up to the family how they want to use it. I have one gentleman who used to be a farmer, and his family only uses it in the summer months. And his goal and what they want is the caregiver has to be willing to take her shoes off and go for a walk in the grass with them. And so when the weather's nice, the caregiver goes over there and goes for a walk in the grass with them. So it's up to the family how they use that voucher, which is one of the beautiful things. They can decide how they want to use it. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I had asked one. Are you all familiar with an organization, Synapticure?
I am not. Do you know, Jen? No.
No, unfortunately, I'm not. Sorry.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I am. Okay. I have had no help from them. Can we change I mean, I did sign up, but that's just because somebody sent me the link. Can we change from one provider to another if this is not meeting our needs?
Yes, so what would need to happen is you would need to unalign
Okay,
with them. That is the language that CMS utilizes. In the meantime, you can reach out to us if that's something that you want to do. We can get you in contact with, you know, our intake team to get the process started. And we would need to hold off on submission until we know that you are unaligned from that particular agency.
okay,
But yes, you do have a choice.
but you're in Richmond, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm nowhere near Richmond.
Where are you located?
Southwest Virginia, Abingdon, 24210.
Give me 1 second.
So what she's looking up is we do have most of Virginia covered. The thing that might be different is how many choices you have in the care providers, and then there's a few gaps. So
Can you give me that zip code one more time, Nancy?
24210.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are not servicing
Yeah.
that area right now. I'm so sorry.
Who is, do you know, other than this company?
You can go to CMS's website if you just Google guide, and you can look for available agencies. You also should have received a letter in the mail that lets you know that, you know, your loved one is eligible for these services, and then on it, it should list the agencies that provide service in your area.
Okay, all right.
and
Nancy,
Jennifer
this
just
is
put
Tiffany.
a guide.
Nancy, this is Tiffany Robbins with Bay Aging. We are providing guide model
Okay.
services statewide. So I can put a message to you in the chat if you would like to reach out to me.
Oh, that's great. Yes, thank you.
I saw that somebody had their hand raised, but then it disappeared. I think it was Ray. Did you get your question answered?
Yes, thank you.
Penny sent in what about Arlington, Northern Virginia, and sent in quite a few numbers with that chat as well.
So Penny, can I write those down and look them up, and then I will answer it in the chat for you? It'll take me a couple minutes to look them all up. Any other questions? And at any point, y'all can feel free to call us. You know, my phone number's on there. Well, I just don't know if my phone number's on there. I'll give you my phone number, and you have my email as well. My phone number is 804-946-2064. So once again, 804-946-2064. Okay. Well, thank you all very, very much. Hopefully you have learned something. And it looks like Jen got the answer already. So she said yes about the Arlington, Northern Virginia zip codes.
I do have one question. We have a lot of people asking for this recording. I can't send the recording via email, so I'll see if I can post it somewhere. In the meantime, could I attach that screen, that slideshow that you had sent to me to my
Yep.
follow-up email, just so they can
That's fine.
just do it?
Yep, that is
Perfect.
absolutely
Thank you.
fine. Let me make sure I sent the right one, and I'll put because the other one that Jen did that I actually put the wrong one, that one has the referral information. So let me double check
Okay.
and see which one I sent you.
Okay, perfect.
We
Thank
can
you.
also send you a PDF handout as well. So it
Yeah,
might
that
be a
would
little
be
bit
great.
easier one pager instead of someone trying to
Yeah,
flip
that
through
would be
some
amazing.
slides. I can get that to you as well.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you all.
All right, so just to close out the meeting, we did want to just say one last time, we got a lot of information from Fairfax. We're looking for more information from our other AAAs. So if you're interested in sending us anything that you would like to be in the agenda in the next coalition meeting, please just reach out to me or Kim at cameron.basin at dars.virginia.gov and kim.vivaldi@dars.virginia.gov as well. We also have our DARS e-newsletter. If you're interested in subscribing to that, please click that link in the agenda as well. And if you have any stories that you would like to submit, then you can submit them at aginginfo@dars.virginia.gov as well. We have about 10 more minutes. If I'm going to open this up to any of our fellow AAA members who, if you have anything that you would want to share or let us know what's going on over there in the next coming up month or so. If not, then we can go ahead and end the meeting here.
I would just like to add, we encourage you, I saw one person, but we would like to encourage you to have anyone join the VCC, which is Cameron, and I want to thank her for a great meeting. She's worked very hard this year to go ahead and schedule a lot of very informative meetings. As you can see, this one is one of the top ones, and we got that information from you. So please join the VCC. It's an online form. Have anyone you work with, especially anyone out in our AAAs or other healthcare providers who you think might be interested in attending a supportive meeting, informational meeting like this. We certainly encourage you to join the VCC. Also, right now, I'd like to recognize our executive committee who has worked very hard, tirelessly, I guess is the correct word, making sure that we have such great presenters like the ones we have today. So please keep those suggestions coming for us. It's because of you and somebody wrote us one time in an email about God that facilitated all this. And as you can see, what a wonderful opportunity we've had with these speakers. So just want to mention that. Thank you.
Asking about the area agency people. I am with JABA, which is the Jefferson Area Board of Aging. We're covering the Charlottesville, Nelson County, Greene, Louisa, and Fluvanna County area. I don't know of anything special going on at this time. We are in touch with know of 2 guide program facilities. So reach out if y'all need any help.
All right. Well, I guess we will end that here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you guys at the next meeting, which will be held on, let's see,
March. Maybe we'll have warm weather.
March 19th is going to be our next meeting. So we look forward to seeing you guys all there. And I'll send you guys more details regarding the speaker closer to that date.
Thank you.
Bye.